Thank you all for joining. I'm going to wait a little while before I get started to let some others join in before I get started. Thank you so much for joining in. I see some familiar names. How's everyone doing? Also, I'll repeat this further before I even start the information session. You can use the Q&A feature to ask any of your questions throughout the information session, and then I'll answer them at the end. We'll wait about another minute or so, and then we'll get started. All right. Thank you so much. It is now 11:01, and then we'll hop into it and get started. I am Breon Ransom. I'm the Senior Assistant Director of MBA Admissions at Georgetown, and I'm also the Flex MBA Online Admissions Advisor. So it's always a pleasure to do these information sessions to give you the most updated information on our new and growing online MBA program. Super excited as always. Happy to connect with any of you afterwards, answer your questions in a one-on-one virtual chat or just to simply chat through email. Always happy to. There's some familiar names that I see in the participants list that we have chatted and had conversations. Happy to continue them. So we'll get started. I'm going to share my screen and we'll hop right into our information session today. Alrighty. I think we're all good. You guys should be able to see my screen. All right, the Flex MBA online information session at MSB, we call the McDonough School of Business, MSB for short, which is also an engaging virtual experience. So let's hop right into it. All right, so our mission is to develop principal leaders with a global mindset to be in service to business and society. We support this mission by preparing our students to be global ready. The students at McDonough represent 46 countries. Actually, it may be a lot more at this point, and 84% of the most recent MBA class have lived, worked, or studied abroad. Now, the classroom conversation will be global by virtue of who is actually in it. It's definitely a diverse group. One of the first classes that you'll take will be the structure of global industries, which will set the stage for the rest of your program. In this particular course, you'll be working in small groups to set up your own multinational business with a global supply chain imposed with timely crises that you'll have to flexibly navigate. Next, our global business experience. All students will consult for an international client in another country over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, with the final week in country. Now, on to our global treks. You'll also have the opportunity to travel internationally over each fall or spring break on a student-led trek, whether it means you're volunteering in Bogota, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, or meeting prospective employers in London. We are global at home in Washington, D.C. by the nature of being in a global city. This naturally translates into our second pillar, which is our location in D.C. You'll have the access to speakers who come to campus. Presidents from Washington to Obama have addressed Georgetown students. Access to alumni. Now, our alumni are spread all over the globe, and you'll have a very strong tie to the campus and regularly come to Georgetown to recruit, lead talks and discussions, as well as share their insights in the classroom. Now, this also leads into our last, but obviously not least pillar, which is principal leadership. This is tied to our Jesuit background dating back to 1789, the same year the Constitution was signed. In fact, Georgetown is the oldest Jesuit university in the US, founded with strong values, men and women in service to business and society. You'll see this commitment to social impact and service woven throughout your business experience. From the alumni that continue to support our students through an ethos of Hoyas helping Hoyas, to holistic support from our career services to ensure that recruitment is tailored and personalized to the individual's experience. The Jesuit tradition also focuses on teaching, hiring good teachers, not just researchers. Now, a lot of the faculty have an open door policy and regularly is available to be of support throughout each aspect of the program. Next up, thinking about this is our 2024 class profile for our Flex MBA Online. Now, these are the MBA stats related to the 2024 Flex MBA Online class profile, which highlight the composition of our diverse student body. Now, our admission stats start with 50 are enrolled out of 166 applications. Now, the average work experience is 5.8 years of work experience. And just keep in mind, these are the averages of this class that came in 2024. 38% female, 33% US diverse, 17% URM, underrepresented minorities, 26% US military, and our average age is 30 years old. Now, some of those undergraduate fields of studies that those students came from would be about 30% in business, 18% in math and physical science, 14% in government and international studies, 10% humanities, engineering, and social science. Now, the major industry backgrounds, which is definitely not surprised, would be one of them would be financial services, which is about 18%, and then ongoing healthcare at 14%, and then lower in tech and new media and consulting and manufacturing at 8%. Now, those average test scores and GPA, the GPA is falling at about 3.4, a little bit over at 3.48 actually. Average 630 GMAT score and average GRE would be at 309. Now going into our, our virtual, what we offer virtually in the program. So I'm super excited to talk about this because there's a lot of flexibility there. Georgetown McDonough believes in synchronous learning, where you can engage with your professors and peers in live course sessions, incorporate a mix of synchronous and asynchronous course content that is best suited to the various classes and course topics to maximize your learning. Some courses will be half synchronous and half asynchronous, allowing both the flexibility and a rich learning experience. Now, all courses except for your in-person residencies and optional intensive learning experiences are held Monday through Thursday during the 6:30 to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time window. Now, for courses that include a mix of synchronous and asynchronous classes, the synchronous component of the class will either be the first half, which would be 6:30 to 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or the second half, which is 8 to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time of that particular window. Now, please note that the Flex MBA online program is strictly for students who reside in the time zones that are plus or minus 3 hours of the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Please keep that in mind. Now, for our curriculum, it is composed of 31.5 credits of required core courses and 22.5 credits of electives. Now, this will include intensive learning experiences. Semesters include 12 weeks of class plus midterm and final exam periods. Half semesters or modules include 6 weeks of class plus a final exam period. Now, the beginning of your second semester, you are able to customize your academic experience by selecting electives. Choose from a limited number of online modular and intensive learning experience electives. Students will have the ability to choose from a curated list of online electives while having access to join MBA students in an on-campus electives on a space available basis. FXO students will have the choice of up to 3 electives per modules. And I'm sure while I was speaking about the curriculum, you were kind of taking a look at the sample schedule of or how your schedule could actually look, thinking about that mix of synchronous and asynchronous, and then what could be available to you in person, like those in-person opportunities for some of those electives. And also knowing that you can complete your degree and 24 months to 5 years, which is 60 months. All right, on to our Flex MBA Online residencies. Now, the global business experience is one of the residencies you will experience at the end of year 2. But thinking about those first 2 residencies, which the first one, Get to Know Hariri, that is the week-long residency that actually starts at the beginning of your program, before you even start your first semester of the program. And the second one is going to be at the beginning of your second year. Now, the week 1 in DC, like I stated before, the first one will be at the beginning of your first year, and the second one is going to be a 4-day residency, which is a little different from the first one. Now, this allows you to network, collaborate with the Georgetown community, and you are required to attend both residencies in person in DC. And as I mentioned before, you have the global business experience, which is going to be at an international location. Now, Flex MBA Online students that choose to come to campus also will have the access to optional week-long in-person intensive learning experiences. And then these are some of the locations that our students have traveled to throughout their MBA program. As you can see, is really some really cool places. I know one of my colleagues just recently went to Singapore, which he really enjoyed. I've been seeing so many great pictures pertaining to that. So just take a look at that. These are some of the places where our students have traveled, our MBA students have traveled. Okay, now thinking about that opening term with the structure of global industries, that course that I mentioned at the very beginning of the information session. This actually happens kind of feeding into that in-person week-long residency before your semester actually starts. Now, usually it's in the month of August, thinking about the first week, week 1. Now, as I mentioned before, this is where your coursework will begin. Now, it's a super rigorous, fast-paced 3-week course. Now, once this is complete, as I stated before, your fall semester begins after your residency. The first 2 weeks of this class, you will attend live online synchronous sessions on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings. These 2 weeks will also include substantial asynchronous course content and teamwork. So please plan to be available on evenings, weekends, and weekends to complete this work. And the third week, as I mentioned a few times already, and I like to mention it because I like to let you all know where you're actually planning to come into. You apply to the program, you're accepted into the program, and just kind of plan this into your life, because thinking you are full-time working professionals. So planning would definitely be in your best interest. And then, this will consist of full days and evenings, which will be class sessions, team meetings, and faculty coaching. At the end of the week, you'll take a final exam and present your team project, and then you're off to start your courses. All right, community and student life. Now, thinking about our Student Government Association, this is a governing board of elected students that represent the interests and initiatives of the online student body. They strive to continuously improve the McDonough School of Business community, enhance the overall experience for students, and maximize the value of the McDonough School of Business brand. Now, with the student organizations, you start to build connections and networking with your class members before the fall. If you ask many students one word that describes Georgetown, they'll say community. Now, getting involved in a student organization is also a great way to network with companies. So think of them as more of a professional association. There are many student organizations. I think there are about 40 or 40 plus. I'm sure there may be more than that. There are student-run organizations that span cultural, service, recreational, student government, and interest-based communities. Our student clubs enhance and integrate your academic, social, and professional lives and attest to our culture of community. Now we're going into the career experience for our Flex MBA students online as well. With the McDonough Career Center, you'll have many opportunities for you to establish your personalized career plan. You will interact with alumni, key players in the business, and discover your targeted functions, industries, and companies. Now, you'll start this with your summer webinar series. Now, this is the first portion of your job search course, and is taken with the incoming full-time class. Beginning the summer before you arrive, the summer webinar series consists of 3 webinars detailing the creation of 3 deliverables that serve as the beginning of your career marketing portfolio. Now, your career deliverables review will be designated as a set of deliverables that will prepare you for the important stages in the job search. An MBA career prospectus that begins defining your post-MBA career path options and networking strategy. A record of your career accomplishments that will populate your resume and serve as an interview prep and guide. A McDonough standard MBA resume that will be tailored via coaching throughout your job search. Also, your job search course begins in January of the second semester of your first year. The topics covered includes job search communication, networking, interviewing, and understanding all the resources at your disposal via the McDonough Career Center. The course continues on with 1 installment each semester that Flex students can partake in formal post-MBA recruitment during their 3rd or final year. Regularly coaching appointments are available throughout the remainder of your program. Evening appointments hours are available after the first job search course. To maximize the benefit of your degree, we provide career advancement workshops to help students understand their strengths, identify strategic opportunities, develop emotional intelligence, and enhance their executive presence. You'll have the access to numerous workshops, programs, and alumni speakers to reinforce our content and provide real-time job search situations and feedback. Workshops and programs include mock interview days, career fair prep bootcamp, and offer negotiations workshops, plus more. All right, so this is what the career development timeline would kind of look like. Now, to build upon your learning for the summer webinar series, our team of dedicated certified career coaches are available to help you shape your individual career strategy. The career coaches, peer advisors, and student organizations collaborate to cultivate career opportunities that are industry and function specific. Now, the advantages of coaching includes specialized feedback from an advisor, an understanding of relevant Georgetown McDonough recruiting resources, and individualized career search plan. Now, to prepare for coaching, you would need to do the following: complete the summer webinar series and submit your summer career deliverables. And if you haven't already kind of taken a look at this development timeline, just kind of walking you through like the standard completion time of our Flex MBA students, which would be 3 years. So thinking about the year mark. And as you can see, the JSC is for the job search course. And then like in the first year, you start working on your personal branding and networking, your mid-program job change support, of course, career advancement, career clubs, and then 1 McDonough programming, which will kind of continue throughout year 2 and year 3. And then some differences kind of come in there, thinking about year 2, where you are doing the recruitment strategy, the MBA industry open house. And then in year 3, case preparation, mock interviews, document review, and then ongoing to employer events and networking. Launch your career with the backing of a Hoya network. Now, the career coaches will coach you through the job search process. Also, manage the relationships with the alumni and recruiters in their respective industries. Here are the industries that they cover and have knowledge of. They have 38 peer advisors from the second year MBA class that take appointments along with the coaches to deliver career clarification, conversations, resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn reviews, mock interviews, and networking strategy. And then all of the industries are on this page. I think it's on the next. But this is kind of giving you an overview of what you'll be coming into when your partnership starts with our McDonough Career Center. Thinking about the coaching and interview booking, on-campus recruiting. If you are local, I'm sure they do provide some virtual aspects for the online MBA student. And these are the career industries that our career coaches specialize in, and they are assigned to specific industries. So if these are one of the industries you are interested in, you will have one of the career coaches assigned to you, and they are very skilled and have the knowledge of that particular industry. Going from consulting which is one of the top ones. You have financial services there, media, entertainment, and sports, not-for-profit and social impact, and so on. Now, this is a Flex MBA employer report. This is from the 2023, if I'm not mistaken. The next one will probably be released in another month or two, if I'm not mistaken, but the website will be updated with the news sooner than you think. These are just kind of running through some of those top employment industries. As you can see, the pre-MBA would be nonprofit education at 22%, and then the post-MBA would be consulting at 22%. So those flipped a little bit, pre-MBA, post-MBA. And then the post-MBA positions, 58% in company, thinking about the 92% in job titles, those increases. And then also the post-MBA functions, and thinking about the compensation, which we all love to see an increase in that, 56% increase in the compensation over the 3-year duration. And some of the Flex MBA top employers could range from Amazon onto Accenture. Now, next up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process and kind of what you will experience in applying for our MBA program. The admissions committee takes a holistic approach to the evaluation process. Now, this means we take into account all aspects of your application to assess your ability to handle the rigor of the Georgetown MBA program and to determine if our program is the right fit for you. Each element of your application is carefully reviewed by the admissions committee to gain insights into you as a student, a professional, as an individual overall. You'll submit a completed application, gather all of your required application components, and submit before your selected application round deadline. Each element of your application is carefully and holistically reviewed by the admissions committee to learn about you as a student, as I stated before. Now, also thinking about the interview part. So I know a lot of you asked about the interview as well. Like, you see all these other things, but you're like, when is the interview going to happen? The interview is invite only. And it's another way for you to showcase your fit for the Georgetown MBA program. And you'll receive, and then if you do receive that invite, that's a great thing. Now, after that, you'll receive a decision. Now, unless additional materials are required by the admissions committee, you should receive a decision regarding your admittance by the indicated decision notification deadline. Those who have been accepted into the program will receive information regarding the deposit deadline and pre-arrival to-dos. Now, going into those components of what you need to complete that application, starting out with your letter of recommendation. One is required from your direct supervisor. Your academic history, we would like to see your transcripts. Now, please make sure it displays your final cumulative GPA and a conferral date. Now, this particular transcript can be an unofficial document. You can apply with unofficial documents. However, if you are offered a spot in the program, official documents will be requested, and they will have to be provided from the awarded institution. Now, your personal essays, written and video, which is really, really fun. You will choose from 3 topics to write your essays on. Now, those topics would be Georgetown community, cura personalis, which is a Jesuit value that means care for the whole person. And then the last topic would be achieving excellence. So you'll choose one of those. In addition, you'll have to submit a 1-minute video essay sharing what has recently brought you joy outside of work. And then also going back into the interview part, offer invite only. They are extended following each application deadline and will continue up to the decision release date. Test scores. Now, we do require test scores. However, there's a test waiver policy in place that we'll talk about in a few, but we do accept the GMAT, GRE, and executive assessment. And in work experience, we do require a minimum of 2 years of work experience. And then, like I stated before, at the beginning of the information session, if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A. I'm sure at this point, you'll probably do have some questions. So just drop them in the Q&A and we can address those. And I'm also going to be sharing my email in a way for you to schedule a chat with me. I'll be happy to kind of go further in depth about any application component. All right, next up, talking about the test waiver policy. Now, this test waiver policy is applicable for our Flex MBA programs, in person and online. An applicant must meet one of the following, which is below, which you see, to submit an FX or FXO application with a test waiver. You will either have to have a 3.1 GPA and above in one of the following majors: business administration, science, engineering, tech, or math, or have a 3.3 GPA and above, plus one of the followings there: a CPA or CFA, two quant classes from undergrad or your master's program with a B or better, example, finance or accounting, or 3 or more years of full-time work experience in a quantitative, mathematical, or analytical field. Now, from the CPA onto the 3 years of work experience, you have to have a 3.3 and above in any major and one of those following, not all of those. You'll have a 3.3 GPA and above in any major and a CPA, or the quant work with the B or better, or the 3 or more years in full-time work experience in one of those fields. I'll leave that there for a second so you can see that. And then next up would be our application deadlines. Now, are you ready to apply, or are you waiting for a decision is my question. Now, if you are waiting for a decision, and you applied in early action, your decision will be released October 30th, which is actually next week. So definitely wishing you the best of luck if you submitted an application in early action and you're waiting for a decision. And then our round 1 deadline has already passed, and they are waiting for a decision on December 10th. And if you are thinking about applying now, our next deadline for round 2 will be January 6th. That decision will be released March 20th. And the last round will be 3. That deadline is April 2nd. And that decision will be released May 14th. And the way you'll know what your decision is, you'll receive a notification in your email that you started the application with us, and it will be posted to the application portal, and then you'll see your decision there. And this is how you can stay connected with us. These are QR codes that I'm gonna leave there for a second. So, you can explore more about, Georgetown's MBA, request more information, get to chatting with some admissions advisors or student ambassadors, or attend an upcoming event. We're always happy to see you, answer your questions. Also getting you connected further within the community for any other questions if you have about student organizations or about anything else more about like your curriculum overall, or any other like partnerships or additions we have with our MBA program. Always happy to get you connected. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to see if we have any questions in the Q&A. I do see a few. So thank you so much for listening in. Give me 1 second while okay. All right. So let's see what questions we have here. One question we have is, I want to inquire if the funding opportunities for round 2 applicant and is there application fee waiver. There are application fee waivers available. What I can do is drop the link for you to see how you can get an application fee waiver, and also how you can get a discount to your application fee. And you wanted to know if there were funding opportunities in round 2 for applicants. Yes, there are funding opportunities. As soon as you submit your application with us, you're automatically considered for scholarships, and you'll know if you're a recipient of a scholarship if it's in your offer letter. And let me drop the link for the application fee. And then you can see, you can review that information. Let's see. I want to drop it. This Q&A, and maybe I should start doing the chat, because I feel like the Q&A, when it's time to like share information, is a little bit more difficult for all to see. The next question. Okay, does Georgetown participate in dual JD MBA program with other schools? Additionally, I do not have a GRE score, but I did take the LSAT All right, so we do have a JD MBA program, but it is with our law school. We do not have any dual degree programs with our MBA affiliated with any other schools outside of Georgetown. It's our full-time MBA and with our law school. And also you can use the LSAT to apply for the flex program as well, if that's what you choose to do. But I see you, okay, you're applying to the full-time MBA program. So yeah, you could definitely apply for a JD MBA for full-time. Is your full-time MBA STEM designated? Yes, it is. I can see if I can drop the link to that for you to kind of look in on the full-time MBA program as a whole. And then you can look at the curriculum. STEM designated science major. I can drop this link really quick for you. I just sent you that link for the STEM designated information. All right, next question. Do you accept an applicant with higher national and national diploma? I think you will have to clarify your question for me. I don't understand the higher national and national diploma part. Do you mean do you accept an applicant? You mean like other like terminal degrees or like maybe an international degree? If you can rephrase that question, kind of clarify that for me. What are the costs of the program? Sure, I can let you know that. So the cost of the program, so for the direct expenses, the subtotal is falling at almost 60K. And that would be for 24 credit hours at $2,486 per credit. That's for the year of 24-25. That's up there now on the Flex MBA online overview. I'm going to drop this link in here for you to see, and you can check out the cost of the program. All right, next question. Okay, waive the test requirement if already have a doctoral degree. Okay, so you want to know if you can waive the test if you have a doctoral degree. You'll be able to waive the test if you fit one of the two criteria that's on the policy. Yeah, let me go ahead and drop that link for you. I'm sorry for the application fee waiver. I don't know, something happened along the way with this Q&A. Is so weird trying to share information. All right, here I go. And there you go. Thank you for asking that again. I'm sorry. How much will each year cost if the program is spread over 5 years? I don't think you would know that right away, just knowing that the cost of programs do increase yearly. So what the program costs for the 24-25 at the $2,486 per credit may potentially increase. And thinking about those rates, they are subject to change. So I couldn't tell you what it would be for the year. I could tell you what the cost of the program is now, but it would be different if you spread it out over time because of the cost changing. After, are there scholarship opportunities for online part-time MBA? Yes, there are scholarship opportunities for all of our MBA students. As I stated before, you'll know if you're a recipient of a scholarship if you receive an offer and it's in your offer letter. Because when you submit your application, you're automatically considered. All of our MBA applicants, whether full-time, flex in person, or flex online, everyone is always considered when they submit their application. Okay, we had another question about the cost. There is financial aid available. You just have to connect with the student account services. And they could probably give you more information on the percentage of the individuals that were giving financial aid. We offer merit-based scholarships through MBA admissions, so we wouldn't have any information on what financial aid with the office would offer, like usually what's given to students through financial aid. Okay, so you added the higher national diploma again. National diploma is equivalent to a 4-year bachelor degree. So you can definitely shoot that question to our MBA ops team in our Georgetown. Let me type in our email for you to send that question to our ops team and they can answer if that will be acceptable. All right, I just sent you the email to shoot that question to our ops team. Thank you for asking your question. That was a good one. Okay, still about the cost. Is it 60K for the full program or just for 1 year? It is 1 year. Direct expenses for the 2024-2025 tuition for 24 credit hours at $2,486 per credit. That is for the year of 24 through 25. That is 1 year of the program. All right, let's see. We have another question there. Okay, so you said the website says you can get an application fee waiver by joining the session. The website and on this particular event says that you can get a discount on your application fee, not a full waiver. You would get a discount for attending this particular session. You'll receive a follow-up email, and you'll be able to receive the code to get a discount when you apply for the program. When you register for the event, in the description, it does say a discount fee, not a full waiver. And the link that I did drop for the application fee waiver, you have to be a part of, let me pull that up again. I can tell you the groups you have to be a part of to get the full waiver of the application fee. You'll have to be a active duty reservist or veterans of the U.S. Military, a MLT fellow, a Forte MBA launch participant, a member of the consortium, current and returned Peace Corps volunteers, AmeriCorps and Teach for America participants or alumni, a reapplicant, an Admit Me fellow, or a citizen of one of the countries that it has hyperlinked on that on the web page. I'll drop that again. And if you're applying to one or if you're applying to more than one MBA program, say if you're applying to the Flex in person, the Flex online, you can get a full fee waiver that way as well. So for this particular event, you would get a discount, not a full waiver. All right, next question. What career services are available to help students secure positions after graduation? I think there is some support there as well. I can definitely provide you with the email to connect with our career team and ask that questions. So MBA alumni, they do have MBA alumni career resources. And then let me drop this link so you can review that. Now it says that you guys will have an array of resources to support your lifelong learning and professional success, and you'll connect with our career center to advance your career, broaden your network, and find assistance in making your career move. So let me drop this link in there for you so you can look into that, and then you can connect on the general inbox to ask the question further in depth of what those resources look like. All right, next question. Does the GI Bill Yellow Ribbon program cover the cost of the MBA? Now, I know if you are affiliated with the military and then you have access to the GI Bill Yellow Ribbon opportunity or resources, I don't know if it covers the full MBA. I wouldn't know that, but I can provide you with some information to kind of reach out and ask about that if you give me one moment. Also, matter of fact, let me, if it's okay for me to drop my email in the chat, and if you email me that question, and I can follow up with a direct response. How does admissions work for Georgetown employees? It works the same way for all MBA applicants. You would apply, you would submit, you will complete your application and submit it. You will go through all the stages of the admissions process as all MBA applicants. Thank you for that question. Of course, you're welcome. You're welcome. Always a pleasure, especially if I know the answer, I will definitely give it to you right away, but I'm not afraid to let you know that I have to do some digging and I can connect you further to get the right answer because I want you to have the accurate information you need to research and making sure that this is the right program for you if we offer the services that you require moving forward in completing your MBA. It said that the program could spread over 4 to 5 years. How common is that? A online part-time program spanning over 4 to 5 years is very common because usually part-time programs are completed by working professionals. So if you work full-time during Monday through Friday, you really don't have a full amount of time as a full-time student would be able to. Thinking about MBA overall, full-time MBA student, you would completely have to stop working to complete your program in 2 years. Whereas though, if you're a working professional, it definitely could span between 3 to 5 years to complete that program. So it's very common. Thank you for your question. Please, can you clarify the Forte participants a bit? I attended the Forte MBA event in September. Also, do you have a GA or TA roles for the MBA program? There are GA and TA roles for the program. I don't know if it's a TA, but I know we have GA. I know we usually do have like a grad assistant that's in admissions for particular cycles. Also, for the Forte participants list, I think you would have to be a member. So Forte MBA launch, I think it's like a member of Forte in particular. If you attended a event in September, as just an attendee and not a member, I don't think you'll be able to waive it because you attended an event. I think you have to be a member of Forte. But I can drop my email in the chat and I can dig further deeper into that for clarification for you. Work experience requirements, again, we do require a minimum of 2 years work experience to apply for our MBA program. And it looks like this is the last question. Is there a limit to how long we can complete part-time MBA? So you have up to 5 years, which is 60 months. You have 24 months to 5 years. That's your flexible range of completing the part-time MBA and the online included in that. So you could have, our average completion time is about 3 years, but then taking it further would be at the final point at 5 years, which is 60 months. Are travel educational opportunities given to those who are working full-time, and how would this work and what time it is typically happen? Yeah, we definitely spoke about the global business experience. There are the travel portions of the program. Usually the global business experience is at the end of your second year. It is a week long in another country. And it usually happens, I think, kind of spring going into the summer at the end of your second year, if I'm not mistaken. But I can definitely share my information with you so we can kind of dig further deeper into kind of like when that actually happens and how that looks kind of walking through as a student. But yes, it is offered to all of our MBA students full-time and part-time. So part-time students are working full-time, and it's a requirement for part-time MBA students to do the global business experience as well at the end of year 2. All right. Will the waiver reduction be applicable for full-time MBAs or just online MBA? So full-time MBA has their own test waiver. If that's what you're talking about, will the waiver reduction be applicable for full-time MBA or just for the online MBA? I tend to apply. Okay, so even if you attended this event, and you get the survey, you get the code for the reduction fee, you can still use it on your full-time MBA application. Yes, you can. I thought you were talking about test test waiver. But since I brought it up, the test waiver of full-time MBA is different from the flex programs. It's actually a separate application from the actual program application. Whereas all the flex students, I mean, people who are applying for the flex program will request a waiver. It's embedded in your actual application for the program. Oh, this is a good question. Please, what's your advice on how to give a top-notch application? I like that question. And it kind of feels like it puts me on the spot for real, even though I'm the only one on the spot because you only see me talking. But I would say a top-notch application. I would say just definitely not rushing it, taking your time walking through it, just knowing that if you don't have a quant background or don't have a like strong quant background, please take your time in taking steps forward to look into quant courses or things that can enhance your quant knowledge, like your test scores. Also, kind of taking your time. Like if you're applying for this round two deadline for January 6th, this is a perfect time to be making sure that you have like those quick things like your transcripts, also tidying up your resume, making sure you have all your up-to-date information there. But also when you get to like your written essays, take your time, but also have people, other individuals kind of look over that as well. Don't just write your essay and I think this sounds good and submit it. Always have a second pair of eyes because and then let them know what that topic is and what information you're trying to share there. So pick the topic that's best fitting to what you want to share. Also taking your time doing a video essay. I know it is 1 minute. However, like I had to do a video essay like a week or so ago, and I feel like I had like 40 takes. I just was not satisfied. And I was also trying to make sure that I hit the prompt. So making sure you hit the prompt, like what has recently brought you joy outside of work? Like not thinking about any like academics wise or like professional or work wise, but like what actually brings you joy, whether it's like going to a shelter and just petting the kittens, I don't know, whatever just makes you happy outside of that. um but also just kind of making sure that you kind of build a good solid application, making sure that your recommender is on board, like whoever you choose to kind of best attest to why you'll be great for this program. But just taking your time overall, but also making sure that you build a solid and competitive application, looking into like I think we all have those like really strong spots and we some have like some weak spots as well. So kind of look at those weak spots where you can kind of enhance those. And then also stay in touch with your advisor. Like if you're applying for the flex in person or online, I'll be your advisor. So you'll definitely get my contact information and we could set up one-on-one chats and kind of talk through those things. So I'll be happy to do that as well. But I can drop my email in here too, so you can have that. The minimum GPA, most programs is a 3.0. But not saying that that's what you have to have. We definitely welcome all applications, but I would say a 3.0 will be the minimum. How many credits is in the entire program? I think it is 54 credits, if I'm not mistaken. Thinking about the 31.5 required core courses credits, and then 22.5 credits for the electives. Awesome. I don't see any other questions here right now. We do have a little bit of time left. I don't see any other questions here. Hold on. I think we do. Hold on, here's some. Uh, nope, I don't see any new questions. I thought I had some on here. I don't. So is that all of the questions? We do have like 11 minutes left. Um, if you uh if you have any other questions, I'm definitely happy to answer them. We do have a little bit more time, but I definitely don't want to force you to have questions if you don't. But just knowing that this isn't the all be all, you actually have time to ask the questions. All right. Well, since that is it, I do want to say my last few words again. Um, I'm Breon Ransom. I am the admissions advisor to answer any of your questions or get you connected with other individuals of the community. I'm happy to do so. It's always a pleasure. You can definitely email me or set up a virtual chat with me. I know our virtual calls are usually short, but just know it doesn't have to be the last time we chat. I'm always happy to kind of continuously meeting with you guys to kind of get those questions answered. It's always a pleasure. I'll kind of sit for a couple more minutes to see if anyone kind of want to drop any other questions in here. I'm kind of scanning through to see if I got them all. I feel like I did, but I don't want to like skip anyone. Awesome. Well, since we don't have any other questions, always happy to do these information sessions. Always a highlight of my day and a great way to start the week. I feel like it's Monday, starting with a information session, and you guys are kind of getting the information now, especially if you're applying for round two, which that deadline is January 6th. And then we have a lot of time to kind of converse and kind of speak back and forth about like different application components or kind of getting you signed up for an event, seeing how we can uh get you connected with a student ambassador, having a conversation. We do have a Flex MBA online student ambassador. His name is Bryson Reyes. He's on our Unibuddy website. He's there for you to chat with. There's also full-time and Flex student ambassadors there for you to connect with, just to kind of talk about the student experience. And if you're local, you can always stop by Monday through Friday. There's always an admissions advisor on call that can kind of show you around the building and answer any other question you have. And you can actually see our MBA students kind of in real time. They're in their classes, in between classes, kind of chit chatting out in our I would say our common area where they all meet and have conversations and different events and things like that. So it's always a pleasure. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm happy to get those answered. I hope you guys have a great week. Be productive and stay safe. Um, and again, reach out to me if you need me. Have a good week. Bye, guys.